Greetings, friends, and welcome back to my channel. I'm the GM Philosopher, and today we are talking about how to create unlimited plot arcs instantly in your D&D games. Now, this episode is going to involve me using a tool that I just created, and I'm going to make this available for free down in the description. You can actually click on the link, and it's just kind of special. You can join my email list and grab this for free. Okay, so there's a resource here available for free. If you join my email list, you will get it emailed. If you don't want to stay on my email list, just unsubscribe. But you could stay subscribed, and I'm going to try to send out weekly emails just with more D&D stuff. So that's a cool thing if you're interested in that. Now, with that being said, I'm going to jump right into it here. Now, and I'm going to give you a tiny bit of backstory. Okay, so now in my last session, basically what happened was the characters had like an after the main plot arc finish kind of, they had to finish up a loose end thing. They finished the plot arc where they wiped out the Dragonborn base, and that was like a big plot arc point to save this island and to get the blessing of the volcano god. With that being said, there was also the situation where an adolescent hag stole a baby out from the belly of this mother, and the baby, there's a very good chance and it turned out it was true, the baby was actually fathered by one of the player characters who had been living on this island, and it was like a really big emotional thing, and the group confronted her, and she basically tried to get them to let her just get away with it and keep the baby. She said that she would continue to help them and she'd be an asset and she would raise this baby to just be, an incredible hag basically, and they were like, no can do. And so they prayed to the god of the volcano, being like, is there anything you can do to help us get this baby back? And they ended up fighting her, invoking some magic from the gods, and they had to sacrifice these like amulets they got from the gods, which basically were like them having been bestowed these blessings, and they used them. So basically they used the kind of good cred they got with the god of volcano when they took out the Dragonborn industrialist base to get the baby back from the clutches of the hag. And so then they actually kind of like found out that one of the players' sisters were on this fishing vessel, and they showed up randomly, and they're like, brother, we haven't seen you in a long time. And they ended up attacking and taking over that fishing vessel. They like mutineered and took it. So now they have two ships, and they are done with the arc on the island. They've decided they're just going to go. They're going to bounce, and they're going to start a new adventure. They're level 5s. So what are they going to do? Well, I'm going to use this resource I created right now, and I'm going to show you how I would use this to help me plot out the next arc of the campaign. Now, I do apologize. We've had a little bit of a long intro here, but I feel like the backstory is a little bit important for you to understand kind of like where I'm at and why I might use this for that. So we're going to jump right into it here, okay? The GM Philosopher's Ultimate Plot Randomizer. Now, I've used many versions of this throughout my gaming history. I've created many different versions of this, but I actually commissioned this one special for you, awesome YouTube people who are also D&D people, GMs, to help you ignite your campaign with endless adventure. I commissioned this by Ghost Katsu. I found this person on Fiverr, and they basically laid this all out for me. Amazing stuff. They did a super good job. I wrote it, and they laid it out with the graphics because I'm not necessarily a graphics person. So let's jump into it. What is going on here? So basically, this resource, which once again you can download, link in the description, download it and join my email list. If you don't want to hear from me, you can unsubscribe right away, and you will still have this awesome ebook. But this is my plot randomizer. It has a table for a hook or an inciting incident. All of these are D100 tables. So I have my percentiles here ready to roll. Table number 2 is the complication development table. Table number 3 is the resolution climax table. And then I have a wild and wacky table just for throwing random things in. So I'm going to determine what's the next plot arc going to be. What am I going to plan to throw at the player? So let's start by rolling on chapter 1, table 1, the hook table. Okay, so I'm going to roll my dice. We got a 6. The party is hired to protect a caravan through dangerous territory. Okay. I'm going to make some notes here in a Google Doc. Now, a caravan, they could be hired to protect a caravan, or maybe an ocean shipment. All right, so we have our hook. Now let's scroll down here. Now there's a bunch of other hook. I mean, up to 100. And in true GM Philosopher fashion, I made the 100s super wild because I always love it when you roll triple zeros. It should be super wild. Let's go to chapter 2, table 2, or table 1 of chapter 2, the complication table. Okay, so we know the crew is going to get offered to hire, to be hired to protect a caravan or maybe an ocean shipment, right? So this is what's going to happen. Now, let's roll on the complication table. Here we go. I rolled a 58. The party's goal is guarded by a powerful creature. Interesting. You've got to keep these things creative, right? So not 100% of the time will all these options like fit perfectly with your party, but you can tweak them. You could also re-roll if they don't work, or sometimes what I'll do is if the line I'm on doesn't really work, I'll just go down the line and then go down the line, and I'll keep going till I find one I really love. But I do like this. The party's goal is guarded by a powerful creature. I'm thinking to myself, they're hired to protect an ocean shipment, but then guess what? Sea creature, right? Some kind of giant squid, giant octopus, a killer whale, right? Something. So I'm thinking, but not just an animal, a sea creature who is out to get whatever they were hired to protect. So it's hunting it, right? It's like a Moby Dick situation. I really like that. Actually, big killer whale, Moby Dick type situation. I'm really liking this. I'm going to even write this down. Moby Dick situation. Okay. Now, we have the complication. Now let's roll for the climax. So the climax table starts here. I'm going to roll my dice. We got a 69. The party must retrieve an ancient scroll that holds vital information. I got it. I know exactly what's going on here. So the way that I'm going to interpret this is basically this. Okay. They're hired to protect this ocean shipment. There is literally Moby Dick level massive whale. He's ramming ships. Okay. Crazy stuff. Crazy. If they mess with him, he's going to come after their ships. They're going to have all kinds of stuff to try to kill it. Maybe they're going to, hit him with their spells, whatever. However, they're going to realize that he has some kind of magical protection, makes it much harder to hurt him. Also, he seems to be way smarter than the average whale, and he's he's strategizing. And I also think he's going to get the local, like the other wildlife to help him. Like he'll send squids, the seagulls will dive bomb, and they can tell he's like manipulating them. What's going on? What's going on? They're going to learn that there's lore. There's maybe some lore legends that say down in the ocean, okay, somewhere in a certain area, and there's an island not far away. So like in the island, it was rumored that there was a ritual that created him, and there's a scroll there that tells his secret and his weakness. And if they want to defeat him, they're going to need to find his weakness, right? So that's what it's going to be. Now, for the weakness, I don't know nothing about that. I don't know his background, right? I don't know. I'm just still brainstorming. So let's roll on the wild and wacky table. Okay, here we go. Wild and wacky table. I'm going to roll on this. 74. Okay. The ground pulses with a heartbeat, causing plants to grow rapidly. Okay, so what does this tell me? I'm going to use this as inspiration. Here's what it is. I figured it out. When they go down to that cave, they're going to find a magical container, and it's going to be like a fish bowl, or it'll just be like a section of the cave that has like glass along the sides. Like it's going to be like maybe sort of like think of a terrarium, and they're going to unseal it and go in there. They're going to find a heart in there. They're going to find some organs in there. I'm going to have to figure out what kind of organs a whale has. They're going to realize that that whale has been kept alive by some kind of magical means. And there's this amazing plant life growing here, just insane plant life. And there's maybe going to be a creature in here guarding that, maybe even a spellcaster. This isn't a terrarium, so it could be something old that's still alive. Maybe a giant crab, a magical giant crab is guarding it. Have you seen that episode of Love, Death, and Robots with a giant crab? It's sort of like a phylactery of sorts. Why is it like this? Well, I'm thinking to myself a long time ago, this whale did a good deed. And maybe there's a goddess of the ocean who blessed this whale and set this up to preserve his life, to make him a guardian. And you know what I'm thinking to myself is that this whale is not evil. This whale is not bad. There's someone bad on the ship that was hired, that has hired the group to protect them. And through this, maybe the crab tells them or something, the whale tells them, but they find that out. And so they're going to have a choice. Let this evil persist, or this whale was right. And they're going to take out the ship, and maybe they'll make friends with the whale. Maybe they have to kill the whale before they realize what's going on. Maybe they're going to go down the evil road and decide not to even mess with them. They're just going to get paid and bounce. I don't know, but that's for them to decide. So there you have it. That's how I am going to use this resource that's how I would use this. And that's how I do use this. I do stuff like this all the time to help me figure out what the next plot arcs are, to throw some randomness in there, right? And there you have it. That is how I'm going to use the GM Philosopher's Ultimate Plot Randomizer to create the next arc of my plot. Just kind of like find the things, find the options, apply my own creativity to them, and boom, we have a pretty cool plot arc plan that the players may or may not decide to go on. And guess what? If they don't decide to go down that road, then what I might do is I might just roll again, and then we'll see what else comes up. It took me all of literally just a couple minutes to figure that out, and super cool. So, and like I said, you can download this right down in the description. Please download it. Join my email list. I'm going to email you more resources like this. I'm going to create more stuff, cool stuff like this. I might even try to design it myself because I do love to design things. So some of the stuff you get, I might actually design. Like I wrote this, but I might also design it. So you can critique my graphic design abilities. But anyway, so there you have it. Thank you so much for joining me. Give me a thumbs up and a subscribe if you thought this was cool, or if you thought this was inspirational, or if this helped you at all. And I just really appreciate you watching my content. I am here every single day, or I try to be here every single day, creating content about this, get the best game in the world, D&D. So get out there and play some D&D this weekend. Stay inspired. Keep creating intellectual art in the form of TTRPGs, and I will see you on the next one.